People are saying that Jeffrey Dahmer was good looking, or if I was on the scene at that time, I would have got, things like that. How could you say that about a white man who killed black people and ate them? Hi, my name is Queen. I am the founder and creator of Mix Vixen. If you are new here, hey boo. And if you are not new here, thanks for coming through again. I appreciate you. This video is also another kind of brain dump off the cuff. I didn't plan this video, but I've been seeing a lot of conversation about this Netflix documentary about the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. I had a couple of notes. I wrote them down on my phone just so I could make sure I say all the things that I've been thinking about. I am focusing on the reaction people are having to the Netflix documentary. What's it called? Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer Story. So I'm mostly talking about people's reaction to it and also my thoughts on true crime in general. I have chosen not to watch the series, and not for any like moral reasons or any kind of like protest or anything like that. I just decided not to watch it because there was a period in my life where I was extremely into serial killers and their psyche. So I have watched so many documentaries about Jeffrey Dahmer that I do not need to see this story because I know the story. I know the story very well. And also because I've always seen Jeffrey Dahmer as like a serial killer. I don't want to see him as a person. And the impression that I get is that he is being humanized. Not in a great way. He's still a horrible monster and people are still reacting like, oh my God, what the hell? But I don't even want him to have that. I just always just saw him as this serial killer who ate people. And I want to keep it that way. The one thing I wanted to talk about quickly is trauma, and specifically Black queer trauma. A lot of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims were Black, gay, queer men. There was others as well, but I'm focusing on the Black queer men because that is the majority of his victims. And there's been some responses to this that I find weird. People are saying that Jeffrey Dahmer was good looking, or if I was on the scene at that time, I would have got things like that. And at first, my first response was to judge these people and to also dismiss them and dismiss them because how could you say that about a white man who killed black people and ate them? Like, why would you do that? Now I'm at a point where I have realized that Black queer people have experienced so much trauma that there are some things that they just have to find humor in. And I don't understand it, and it's not something that I do. I'm not a dark humor person, but I'm also a queer person who, for the most part, to the rest of the world, presents as straight. People assume I'm straight because I'm a femme bisexual person. And then also I'm a person who didn't come out till much later in life, like most bisexual people. So I don't have lots of queer trauma from the outside world. Most of it is eternal. Some of it is, but it's still stuff that I had to deal with eternally because, like I said, I came out later in life, like most bisexual people. So I haven't had the experience a lot of Black queer people. I haven't experienced a lot of trauma in relation to my queerness, to how the world treats me. I had to stop and look at myself and tell myself to chill, even though I don't agree, even though I don't get it. There are levels of trauma that I will not understand. Nothing related to like queerness, but there's things that I could laugh with in relations to Black trauma that other people will not understand. So although I don't understand it, I don't get it, I am offended by it. I can be honest about that, but I think I'm being a little less judgy because I am not a Black queer person who has experienced large amounts of death. I haven't lost a lot of community around me because of the queer identity. I have lost a lot of community around me because of other oppressions, but not directly because of queer identity. And if you're a person who has lost much of your community directly related to being a Black queer person, you may somehow, some way dig down deep and find a way to make a joke because it has become so common, because you are so desensitized from it. So I'm still working this thought out in my mind right now in this moment as I record this. That's where I land. So I don't get it, but I think there's a piece of me that kind of understands, although that is not something I would do. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, let me go on these notes, is honestly questioning people's fascination with true crime. Now, true crime as a teenager, as early 20s, was my joint. And this is before like true crime podcasts came out or was a thing. I was a true crime documentary fiend. Anything that I found on TV, I watched. Netflix thing is more of a, it's not even a documentary, it is a mini series of these events. That genre had me on lock, especially when it came to cults and serial killers. Like, I was on it because I was just fascinated with, I guess, the evil of it. Like, I think I was really trying to understand how people can be so evil. So I understood that fascination with it. When true crime podcasts became a thing, as a podcaster, I did try to look for podcasts to listen to. And I remember when Serial first started and I tried, but I couldn't get into it. And what I'm realizing now is that I had grown a lot. And because I had done so much, and I'm still doing so much work around restorative justice, understanding abolishing carceral systems, understanding that who dictates what a crime is based on the ruling class. I'm doing so much of that work that this genre is no longer entertainment to me because I see so many holes in our system, and I just can't find joy in that at all. I can't do that. So it is interesting to me how fascinated people are, especially people that I know who are in this work that I'm in, who are creating content that dismantle systems. So it is interesting to me that people still can find entertainment in true crime when all it does is shows the holes that is the system that continues to harm marginalized people. I just don't see the joy in that anymore. I don't find it entertaining at all. And it re-traumatizes this family. And that's just something I can't really connect with. If they had made like a whole different story and different people or whatever, I can watch something like that. But because I know that these black families of his victims are still alive, it just doesn't hit right for me. So I did want to ask you guys, are you into true crime? Is it still your thing? And if it is, how do you find entertainment in it? I'm just really, really curious because I'm just so disconnected from that genre, and I don't understand. I don't understand. And I'm trying to not judge, but I'm judging y'all a little bit. But I'm trying not to judge, but I'm judging y'all a little bit. I teeter and totter. Please share me your thoughts. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and like I said, these are just thoughts that I've been having. I haven't, usually for these videos, I will, do some research or read things. But I wonder if people see the connection between white supremacy and the whole true crime genre, and how it shows that these systems benefit white people regardless of anything. You see so many times in the Jeffrey Dahmer story that the police failed those people tremendously. The police basically aided and abetted this serial killer because they were so anti-black, because they were so homophobic, that they abetted this serial killer to harm this neighborhood. How do you not notice that there's a serial killer? How do you not notice that that many people in that neighborhood are gone? Or how do you notice and you don't do anything? And a lot of these true crime stories just reveal how much white supremacy informs crime, and informs what is a crime and what is not, and informs who is a victim of a crime and who is not. Again, I just can't find entertainment in that anymore. I'm not entertained by seeing a white man be aided and abetted by the system to harm black queer people. And I'm trying to understand why that is a thing. And it's not a new thing. I know the whole story of Jeffrey Dahmer because I have watched probably 10 documentaries on that man because I was deep in that too. But as I do this work to understand the systems that oppress us so that I could also do work to dismantle those things or dismantle how they affect me and my community. This is really hard to see people still enjoy it, people I'm in community with. I'm not talking about white folks. I don't ever expect a white person to look at black people and see community. Like, that's not even what I'm asking. I'm asking us, how do we do this? And if you are a black viewer who is into true crime still, please, again, tell me how you are able to still enjoy it because I want to know. I'm really interested. So thank you for watching this video and just kind of peeking into what I'm thinking about. I think I'm going to think about this more and try to flesh these ideas out. But I had to get them out somewhere, so I recorded it here. Also, thank you for my patrons. Thank you. I have a few new ones. So, hey, how y'all doing? I actually released a Patreon exclusive article about The Woman King. It's spoiler free. I was apprehensive about watching that movie, but I did and I loved it. And I explained why I was apprehensive and all of that. So if you're a patron, please read that article or become a patron. You get other exclusive. I have the link down below for you to do that. And as always, you are enough. You are a bad bitch. And I will see you in the next video.